Welcome everybody to question 4 November 2021. We're still continuing with grade 10 past papers, doing all the questions, grouping them all together and making sure that we fully understand what kind of questions should we expect from question 1 up until the last question. This is paper 1 right here at Maths with Gaston, grade 10. We'll make sure that we do also the other grades as well, grade 11, grade 12. Please make sure that you stay tuned, you subscribe, share this channel with your friends, tell everybody about this channel, that if you want to see all the questions all together in the playlist, well seasoned and well prepared, easy to understand, step-by-step example explaining everything. Please make sure that you share these videos with somebody that really needs them. If you're already done, please make sure that you share it with your cousin, your friends, and everybody. Okay, now let's have a look at this question. It's question 4. We've got a graphs that are sketched. We've got a parabola and also a hyperbola as well. All right, okay, let's have a look at there. None of the equations are given, and then we only given a point there, which is the x-intercept of the f graph. Okay, now let's go ahead and deal with these questions one by one from 4.1 up until 4.7. Right, good stuff. Okay, all right, let's go ahead and then deal with the 4.1.1. It said, what is the domain of f? F domain, we already know we're dealing with x values. So let's come here, look at f. Where is f? Okay, this is f. F is this graph here, which is a hyperbola. Okay, so now what is the domain? The domain here, you can see that is taking all the x values starting from -1 going that side, even here all the x values, even here all the x values. There is this graph, it exists. Okay, so but it's never equal to 0. Okay, so now the best thing to suggest, you can say here x is the element of all real numbers, but where x, it will never be equal to 0. Okay, and then you get your 1 mark there. All right, great stuff. Or you can say negative if infinity up until infinity, but x is never equal to 0. You can also say that as well. Okay, great stuff. So I hope you guys get it. And then moving right along, what is the range of g? What is the range of g? What is the range of g? I see there's a value here, which happens to be the line of asymptotes. Okay, so what is the range? What is the range of g? The range of g, 4.2.1, the range of g, you can say, is going to be anything of y greater than 0. Okay, the y value is anything of y greater than 0, therefore gives us the range of that graph. Okay, all right, so now 4.2, determine the value of b. Determine the value of b. Where is b? B is right here on the hyperbola. So what is the value of b? The value of b, okay, let me come here and say 4.2. We're given f of x is equal to, oh, I made a mistake here. Okay guys, I think here, just double check this one for me. I think here it's y greater than 1. Okay, yeah, y greater than 1. I think this line here, it's y greater than 1, because I'm looking at it here from this equation that is given there of the hyperbola. Now that I see it, I thought here this this was the x-axis. Actually, the x-axis is here. This is the line of asymptotes. Okay, great stuff. We got that one out of the way. Okay, so now what they're asking us to they're asking us to find b. Okay, so now they're asking us to find b. We can substitute the y-intercept here, because the x-intercept rather, because it is given to us here as f of x is given by 2 is equals to 0. So therefore we can say 0 there, and therefore b x, okay, no, yeah, x will be 2, sorry, X will be 2, rather. X will be 2. X will be 2 here, plus 1. Therefore, we can calculate B. Take 1 to the other side. It's going to be negative 1 over 2. Therefore, B should therefore be equal to negative 2. Okay, great stuff. Okay, B should be equal to negative 2. Okay, let's come here. 4.3. 4.3, it's saying that determine the equation of G if the X values at the point of intersection of the two graphs is minus 1. Okay, if this point here is minus 1, so determine the equation of G. Okay, all right, let's come here and determine the equation of G, guys. Please, I hope you guys are following. Okay, so now if we do, in order for us to determine the equation of G, we need to find out first what is the y value at that point of intersection. So the only way to do that is when you take the f of x graph minus 2 over x plus 1. Okay, well, they already told us that at the point of intersection x is equals to 1, so we need to find the y value there. So we don't know what's going to be the y value, so we're going to say when x is minus 1, what is the y value? Great stuff, guys. Simple, straightforward, just substituting as per the requirement. Therefore, this will be equals to 3. So therefore, we know that when x is minus 1, when x is at the point of intersection, which is this point here, when x is minus 1, y was going to be 3. Okay, great stuff. Y is going to be 3 there. Okay, so therefore, we need to find the equation of g of x. So therefore, what we need to do now is to say with the line of asymptotes at g, at g of x, ne, q is equal to 1 because y is the line of asymptotes. So having that, you can say x squared plus 1 because we already know that. Therefore, you're going to come here and say, okay, these coordinates, you can substitute them there in order to find a. You can say 3 and then a minus 1 squared plus 1. Okay, we can simplify here, take 1 to that side, which is going to be equals to 3 minus 1, and then 1 squared is going to be equals to 1, then a times 1 is just going to be a. Therefore, a is going to be equals to 2. Therefore, you can come here and say, okay, g of x is equals to 2x squared plus 1. That's how you would get that equation. Guys, I hope you guys really understand this. They love these questions a lot. There's no paper that you're going to write when it doesn't have where we need to find the equation, especially when it comes to functions. This is one of the most very important questions that will definitely ask you. But if you know when to put coordinates, when to substitute, which coordinates to substitute where, and then what to do algebraically, then you shouldn't have any problems. But if you do, please make sure that you reach out to me on my WhatsApp number or stay tuned on this channel. Watch these videos as much as you can. Pause, attempt to do these problems on your own so that you can get the fruits of these lessons. Okay, good stuff. So now let's move right along to 4.4. 4.4. I don't even know if I've got enough space here to do 4.4. Okay, 4.4 is just straightforward. I said write down the equation of a line of symmetry of Earth which has got a negative gradient. Symmetry of F. Okay, F, when they ask us for this 4.4, when they ask us for this, the line of asymptotes, I explained this on the previous question. I think it's more or less the same thing there. I said C will be equal to the line of asymptote, which in this case is plus 1 on both G and F. Okay, so therefore you are going to be left with a negative gradient. So the negative gradient, you just put negative 1. Therefore you've got X there, and that will be your equation of line of symmetry that will pass through that graph. Okay, now let's move to question 4.5. 4.5, it says that write down the values of x for which g is decreasing. Okay, the values of x for which g is decreasing. Okay, the values of x, this simply means the values of x for which g has got a negative gradient. If it's like this, is this positive or negative gradient, guys? If it's like this, therefore it has a negative gradient. This line is a negative gradient. Then when it's going up like that, it's a positive gradient, negative gradient. Therefore, if for these values from here going that side, which is going to be x less than 0, therefore it simply means g will be decreasing. So now 4.5.2 is said f of x greater than g. Okay, this simply in simple terms, I explained this in the previous question, November 2022. I said for which values of x is f of x greater than g. So therefore, how do you put it in the statement that you understand? You would say for which values of x is f of x on top of g. Okay, where f of x is on top of g, you can see basically that it's from this here going there, it is on top. Okay, so it's from anything that is less than -1, is it? No, 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 no. Anything that is greater or equal to, anything that is, and for anything that is greater or equal to 0, let's check. Greater, yes. Okay, here it's lower rather. Yeah, I'm saying it wrong. Here it's less. We want greater. So greater is this side. So it's the values of x where x is greater. Greater. Yeah. F of x is on top of g. All right. Great stuff. So 4.6 says calculate the values of y when the horizontal distance between the arms of the parabola is 6 units. The horizontal distance between the arms of the parabola is 6 units. Okay. Correction, guys. Correction, correction, correction. Okay. Here I'm saying this is wrong. Okay. Where f of x is on top of g, it's when x, okay, it's when x is less than 0 but greater than -1. Okay, so in this instance, this is where now it's on top of the, it's on top of g. F is on top of g. There it is here. Is we're referring to this part here, or referring to this part here. Which values of x are describing this is where x is greater than -1, so is that side, but less than 0, so is that side. Okay, so just that portion there, it's where the f graph is on top of the g graph. All right. Okay, and then calculate the y values when the horizontal distance between the two arms of parabola is equals to 6. Okay, so now this is question 4.6. This is question 4.6. Okay, so now if that's the case, therefore it means between the two arms, so it means this distance here and this distance here, it's what? It's 6. The total distance here is 6. Therefore we know that if that's the case, therefore it's going to be 3 on either side, and therefore 3 on the other side. So therefore what we would do would come here and say, okay, in the g of x, if that's the case, from the equation that we got, it means now x was equal to 3. Okay, so it means that at some point x was equal to 3. So what will be g when x is equal to 3 here? We can do that. Therefore we do that squared. So if I put this on our calculator, it's giving us 19. Okay, it's giving us 19. So therefore the y value, it should be 19. Okay, all right. So 4.7, not a really cool line here. 4.7, it says that determine the equation of k if k is such that minus g plus 3. This one, guys, please don't give yourself a headache with this one. Just write it the way it is. We're saying equation of k of x is given by minus g of x plus 3. Okay, minus g. Let's come and put minus g here. Negative but you must put it in the brackets, guys. This g of x is referring to this whole equation here. You just take it, you substitute it there, squared there. I forgot to put the square, plus 3. The only trick here is the negative, guys. Then you multiply everything by the negative. Squared minus 1 plus 3. Therefore, k f of x is going to be equals to minus 2x squared plus 2. And that's how you would get the answer to this one as well. Okay, and I am Gaston Mapala right here at Mess with Gaston. If you've got any questions, please leave them on the comment section below and make sure that you subscribe. I'll definitely see you in the next upload where we'll be doing question for November 2020.